my mindset and what I want to accomplish. I feel so much more set on what I'm doing.
You spoke to Dominick Reyes. I asked him what was the biggest area where you imposed a threat to him. He said wrestling. One, do you agree with that? And then flip it, where do you think he imposes the biggest threat to you?
Yeah, I'm going to say my wrestling and jiu-jitsu are probably the biggest threat for him. And then also just the well-rounded, the fact that I'm a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Like, you know, he's a good striker. You know, that's what he probably brings. That's the most dangerous. You know, I think I fought better strikers. He's bigger than most of the guys I fought. But as far as precision and dangerous strikers, I think I fought more dangerous guys. But I think the fact that he has to worry about the takedowns and that jiu-jitsu, because that could be the end of the night for him, will change the stand-up as well. So I think me just being in the cage with him and having him have to deal with all that multitasking is really the game changer. He hasn't had to deal with that. Sorry. He hasn't really had to deal with that in any of his fights. He hasn't really fought a guy who is well-rounded or has really great wrestling. You know, we got taken down 3 or 4 times from Volkanovs in there, who had 1 or 2 takedowns in his entire UFC career before that. He did a good job getting back to his feet. But again, it's not somebody who's going to be as persistent and have the pressure like I bring. And yeah, we'll see.
You spoke a lot about Jon Jones, saying one of the biggest motivations going up is to be the guy to defeat Jon Jones. 2-part question. A lot of people view Jon Jones as the greatest fighter of all time. Do you agree with that? Second part, where do you think you stand in the all-time GOAT rankings?
So, yeah, going up to light heavyweight, one of the main reasons I'm excited is definitely because there's a guy there that people think can't be beat, and people consider one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest of all time. And that's what really excited me when I was down at middleweight. So to have the opportunity to not just shock the world once, but also twice in my career and beat 2 of the guys that people think are the GOATs, that's the legacy I think I want to leave behind. And as far as him being the GOAT, I think if you look at his record and who he's beat and how he's done it, yeah, he's the GOAT. But then you look and you put the drug testing stuff out there, and I'm not, and I'll be honest, like I'm just kind of like a casual fan when it came to everything that he did and failed. I didn't like read into it like crazy and know really everything behind it, you know, the picograms and all that crap. I haven't like investigated it 100%, but at the end of the day, he's failed multiple drug tests. And I think anytime that you do that, it puts an asterisk on your whole career. And you have to say that. And same thing with Anderson Silva. You know, he's failed drug tests too, and for performance enhancers. And I think that you have to put a question on the rest of their career. It's just like baseball. Besides, this is way more of a devastating sport. You know, we're not just hitting balls over the fence. You know, we're trying to take each other out. So anytime a guy fails a drug test, you gotta, you know, that's a serious thing.
Do you think Jon Jones is a tougher puzzle to crack than your Anderson fights?
You know what? Yes and no. At the time, so if you look at Anderson Silva now and versus Jon Jones, yes. But at the time, Anderson Silva had such a mystique and aura about him that was actually greater than Jon Jones. He was dominating everybody, you know, putting his hands down, playing with them. Jon Jones isn't doing that. You know, he had 2 tough fights in his last 2 outings, and against guys who were middleweights. You know, 2 tough guys, but he didn't look unbeatable in those fights. Anderson Silva he had like that invincibility feel to him when I fought him. But as far as skill set, it's a very interesting puzzle. Yeah, I think it's more of an interesting puzzle as far as skill set, but not maybe as much as a puzzle when it comes to mindset and like keeping mental focus. You know, like not letting the moment get to you and all that.
Do you think a win over Reyes means Jon Jones is next for you?
You know, I think there's definitely a good possibility for that, for sure. You know, I mean, given my credentials at middleweight, you know, being a multiple-time world champion and then coming up in weight, going against a guy who's undefeated at light heavyweight, ranked number 4. So I go out there and make a statement and dominate him, because, you know, the other guys in the top 5, you know, from what I'm not good at, I don't look at the rankings and stuff, but from what I'm being told, I think most of those guys already fought Jon Jones and lost to him. And if I take out the number 4 guy, yeah, and then you look at the skill sets and you put them on paper, and I think I am a bad matchup for him, if there is any, for Jon Jones.
I heard. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I heard you got revenge last night on Volante with that Madden.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm not retweeting your Twitter. I told you I'm not retweeting your tweet. Don't go to James Lynch's Twitter. See, I just looked you
Yeah,
up.
there you go. I
There
appreciate
you
that.
go. I hope no one's watching.
What happened in that game, though? I mean, it was really a beating.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, I hate you. Seriously, you're never welcome back, Jim. Jim Walter, my manager, invited him to watch me and Volante play Madden, and literally, Volante never beats me in Madden. That's my game. But I haven't been playing that much, you know. And we're playing on Xbox and use the PS4. And all right, he got one on me, and the cameras were there, and I had a meltdown. I had a freaking meltdown. I hate losing, and I hate, especially to him. He sucks. He's so terrible. He runs one play on defense and 3 plays on offense. He sucks. But I lost. He had a good game. Now, what can I say? You know, it's a game. You know, it's a video game. Sometimes the computer, you know, messes you up.
You got your revenge, though.
Is that the most devastating loss of your career?
I'm freaking devastated. You guys, I don't even like talk. I'd rather talk about all my losses one by one right now. Let's talk about this. Seriously, I'm like, I'm sorry, sweating. I'm done.
But you beat him the game after, I heard.
Yeah, I did. I dominated him the game after.
What was the score? Look, we need some insight.
I don't remember. 14-2. That's safety.
When we talked to Dominick Reyes yesterday, and he was talking about your weaknesses, the weaknesses he saw in you. He said that you've taken a lot of damage and you've been getting knocked out. And he also said he wasn't sure moving up in weight would be good in that department. What's your response to that?
So if he's questioning my chin, I think if you look at all my fights, it's not like I'm getting, you know, sat down with jabs or anything like that. I'm not like getting wobbly legs or anything like that. If you look at the 2 fights where I got hit with big shots, it's really the Romero fight and the Jacare fight. And I think in both those cases, it was technical issues that I made. And Romero, I shot to the wrong side. He was coming off the stool super late in the 3rd round. He looked exhausted. I'm like, all right, listen, 1 takedown on him is over. I shot my head to the wrong side. He came over with a beautiful knee, and boom. I mean, that's a knee that probably knocked out anybody. I didn't go out. I was still moving, holding on to things, trying to go. But, you know, I don't think that's anything with my chin. And then my Jacare fight, that's a fight. He actually hit me with some things in that fight, and no issues at all throughout the whole fight. And then 3rd round, I mean, I'm winning, and he's trying to circle me down. I'm circling out, and I'm like, you know, I'm stopping. I'm going to throw a big right hand. He throws his right hand, and I didn't slip my head out enough, and he connected on a huge shot. And I think it's another huge shot that probably would have put down anybody. So it's not like I'm getting hit with these little clips, and you know, you see me wobbly. Yeah.
Chris, when you're winning, you know how it is. Everyone loves you. Everyone thinks you're the best thing in the world. You start losing, no one's around. Everyone starts doubting you. You've obviously shocked the world before. What would you say to your doubters now?
Doubters, just make sure you watch on Friday night. I'm super excited to be like, what's up now? Yeah, I just, the doubter, I love having my back against the wall. I love having doubters, to be honest, because I just love to be like, hey, you're wrong. But, you know, I'm not cursing, but in my mind, I get a little pissed off. Like, what's up? But, yeah, I like it.
Backstage at UFC, I believe 238, you were a guest fighter. You seemed a little superstitious about fighting in New York again. Is that still the case?
I just told them, listen, I knew there was going to be a New York card in November. I'm like, I want to fight in October. I'm ready to go. You know, listen, my last fight was in November, and I was itching to get back in there right away, to be honest, after that fight. I felt great in that fight. You know, it's not like I had a terrible fight. Maybe strategy-wise, especially after watching Jack Hermanson fight him, maybe I should have used my wrestling and jiu-jitsu more, but I felt so comfortable standing with him. I felt like I was picking him apart to where I didn't really need to. But after the fight, I was itching to get back in, and then all of a sudden I had injuries, you know, and I think a lot was to do with like me cutting the weight I cut and trying to stay super disciplined with food. I think it was just too much, and so yeah, to be back at a normal weight, and I just want to get back in there. I'm healthy and ready to go, so I didn't want to wait till November. And listen, I was all about like Madison Square Garden hasn't been the greatest. It's crazy. I mean, both Romero and Jacare, I'm winning both fights, and I'm in that 3rd round looking good, and kaboom, in front of a home crowd. I mean, it's a freaking nightmare. So I'm just looking for, I just wanted to get out of that a little bit, get on a plane and fly somewhere, and kind of get back to what I was used to doing when I was fighting, you know, and yeah.
I know you're not superstitious, but I mean, Boston's kind of the opposite of New York. Do you feel like you'll have your best performance here because it is the opposite?
Yeah, that's the goal, you know, absolutely, man. I want to look, you know, Weidman 2.0 this fight. That's what I wanted to look like in there. And I think a change of scenery, I think, is a good one. And to go to Boston, where like New Yorkers don't go to Boston, Boston guys don't go to New York. It's just kind of like you forget that it's actually 3.5 hour away, a 3.5 hour drive. Like I never went to Boston, never even cared about going to Boston. And then when I became a fighter, I came out here for a Reebok thing, and I'm like, holy crap, this is close, and it's really a cool city. It's awesome, people are cool, yeah.
So no frosty reception from Boston fans?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm an East Coast guy. You know, I think, you know, I'm not a Yankees fan.
Sure.
You know, I'm a Mets guy. Every time I'm an Islander guy. I'm not a Ranger guy. We'll see.
Giants guy?
I'm more of a Jets guy. That's kind of the way it goes. But listen, I'm a front runner too. If the Yankees, if the Giants, if the Rangers, I'll never root for. That's where I draw the line. But Yankees and the Giants, whoever's doing better in New York, I usually just jump in. The Bills are never doing that good, so I don't really jump on them. But yeah, for the most part.
Why don't you like the Rangers?
Because I grew up an Islander fan. That was like the one sport we kind of watched in my house. I loved hockey growing up, and so I started with the Islanders. That was my team. I loved them. And then I remember we would get in fights in elementary school. Like if a kid wore a Rangers jersey, you know, it's like, yo, like there was serious beef. You know, I didn't hang out with Rangers fans, you know, and they didn't hang out with Islander fans. It was kind of like there was a separation there. Yeah, but Yankees and Mets, I never really cared that much, to be honest.
I know Wonderboy Thompson trained with you for this camp, as he usually does. How long did he spend with you for this camp? Because he has this fight coming up in New York.
Yeah, he was just out. A week ago. Not for long. I mean, 5 days or something. It was good. I think just for the both of us, like it's a comfort zone thing. We've been training with each other for a while. He's been really busy. They got a new school. They just opened up 6th school out in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and so he's pretty busy helping out with that. So he couldn't really come out for too long, but just. I mean, it's not like he's Dominick Reyes at all. You know, it's kind of like just kind of a comfort zone thing. Good training partner. It was just a good dude to have around.